As an adoptee, there are truly certain things that I have no tolerance for. And one of those are adoptive parents coming to adoptee TikTok or adoptee Facebook and minimalizing the experience of adoptees because they want a cookie for their good deed, because that's how they think of those kids that they bought and trafficked. Because let's be honest, adoption is the most legalized form of human trafficking. I want you guys to meet Dody. She's saying it's not the adoptive parents' fault. They didn't cause the trauma. Please don't blame them. But what she's really saying is she refuses to take accountability for the fact that she was a full-blown fucking adult who bought somebody else's children because she felt entitled to them because she was sterile, could not have her own. What she really meant to say was that she was an adult using somebody else's children to fill the void in her emotional needs. What she was doing was using those children as a crutch to her own trauma and needs, depending upon those children to meet her emotional needs. What she really said was she brought them from a whole nother country, and she decided that she needed a cookie for her good deed for taking them from their culture, their heritage, their families. And let's be clear that there are more than a mother and father in a family. There are aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, and the very next step for the best interest of the children is to remain within their community and a kinship, somebody they have rapport with, church, school. But Dottie over here didn't think that was great at all. No ma'am, no ham, no bacon and eggs. She bought them kids to fill her own needs. And now she says they're grateful. They're grateful and well adjusted. But of course she speaks on their behalf because that's not what they said. Obviously because they're not speaking for themselves, like they probably never have been allowed to with this woman. She, as an adoptive parent, feels the right and the need to speak for her adoptive kids on adoptees pages, minimalizing their experience for her superiority and God complex. She needs to be a saint. She needs to be seen for those deeds. What she doesn't say is that because she stole and bought those children from a whole other country, is that they probably have not made contact with their biological families, and they probably have never met, and they probably do not have the full story yet. And they were brainwashed to be grateful, as she put it. They were grateful. They were appreciative. You know, a lot of adoptees are brainwashed to be grateful for the experience, to be used as an adult's crutch for their own trauma and emotional needs as children who shouldn't be responsible for an adult's anything, let alone a stranger's who bought you because they felt so entitled to have children that they took somebody else's. What she doesn't tell you is if they ever do make contact, if they ever do get DNA tests done, 23andMe, Ancestry, and they start making contact with biological relatives and they start getting the 100% truth, I bet the biological families don't have the same story that she does. Poverty-stricken, abuse, orphanages. And I can tell you that because she specifically has Asian American children. And you're only allowed to have so many children. So with that being said, what happened is in their home country, somebody stole them, kidnapped them from their homes, from their beds, from their parents, from the womb they were grown inside of. Because it was a law. That's what she's not saying. They weren't in an orphanage because of poverty. They weren't in an orphanage because of abuse. They were in an orphanage because of a legalized limit in that country. With that being said, I can guarantee you, even in a different country, had they been in an orphanage, just like, you know, the foster care system here, she thinks group homes aren't orphanages. She thinks foster homes aren't orphanages. And they are. It is a systematic tunnel, if you will, to call it anything but what it is, an orphanage. What's even crazier to me is these adoptive parents' motherfucking denial that adoption is trauma, and it is unnecessary trauma. These adoptions, and especially daddies over here, they were not child-focused, trauma-centered, and informed. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because if they had been, it would be a guardianship. A permanent guardianship. But that adoption to change their name, erase their identity before you, that's a selfish want of an adoptive parent. Yeah, that's not in the best interest of the child, and that's not trauma informed. And in fact, All mental health studies show that adoptees have an 80% more chance of their self in their lifetime. It also shows a massive heightening in identity crises in up until their 50s. Did you know that, Dody? I bet you didn't. I bet you did it, Dody. I bet your kids did, though. Crazy that Dody's out here speaking on behalf of her children, who will never have the full story of their life, their heritage, their parents, their making, their culture, or the traumas that were involved, because Dody over here is speaking for them her entire life and using them as her crutch. She imported them like you would import furniture. All medical studies show that separating a child from their mother, especially in their early years, is detrimental. Dody has a problem accepting medical studies, psychology studies, and facts because she believes that, again, random adoptees should meet her emotional needs online as an adopted parent and give her a cookie for her sin that she calls a good deed.